All right, guys, I'm just gonna go over this quick swing trade that I just took for a buzzer beater type trade right into this, like literally a minute into the close. 123, $126 calls, light size at 97 cents, right? Um, pretty, pretty risky trade, and I'll go over why it's risky, right? Because obviously, if you know the way I trade, if you don't, I'm a breakout trader, so I basically wait for key levels to get broken before taking trades. And this is not something that's breaking out yet, right? I'm anticipating the breakout. This is why it's a little bit riskier, but I'm anticipating the breakout because obviously XOM and this whole, Venezuelan thing and all the oil companies, and it's all obviously lining up with the chart itself, but all this stuff I think is super bullish for companies like this. So that's kind of just why I'm bullish on XOM itself, right? I mean, there's a lot of other oil companies that are good. I just think this is the best looking chart. And if you look at the daily chart, I'll go to the monthly chart first. So monthly chart is in a huge almost 3 year base here, right? I mean, we're sitting right in the exact spot we've been trading in for 3 years. I think this is a potential. This has potential for a breakout here over 125. And if we look at this weekly chart, right, we had a huge weekly, hammer last week. And actually, I'll just drop down to the daily because the daily looks a lot cleaner. But the daily chart just looks super nice, right? We came up to this 125. This is the breakout spot here. This is that 3 year base high that we need to break out of. We basically had a nice, huge, you know, 4% move in 2 days, which is pretty, that's a pretty significant move on this stock XOM. We had a huge move, and then immediately right after that, huge hammer candle here off that Monday candle, we had a huge sell-off candle, right? Huge sell-off. A lot of shorts probably start getting into this, thinking this is a reversal trade, right? They thought maybe they caught some buyers, getting offside, taking late entries here. Have huge sell-off candle, starts to look like it wants to sell off and reverse, and then immediately we reclaimed the 90 MA. We started losing it here, we reclaimed it, and we're now printing a flag here off the daily chart. And it looked like today we kind of just retested this 90 MA here, and I'll show you towards the end of the close here what it looked like. It looks like now we're trying to trap a lot of these sellers here that came in, and they're basically, if you were entering short here off this huge bearish engulfing here, you're pretty much down. I mean, you're down here, you're underwater, you don't know if you should sell it and stuff like that. So a lot of those shorts, if you put yourself in their shoes, right, you're on the verge of probably stopping out here, right, eventually. So it looks like buyers are trying to step back in here and really push this over this big 3 year base. And if we look at the close here, this is why I kind of started entering it. I mean, we started catching a lot of movement here off the 15-minute, right? We just started really pushing towards the end of the close. I'm honestly just anticipating this potentially wanting to gap up, get over this 125 spot. Typically, I want to see this, really want to open up around over 125 or 124.5. That's kind of where I want it to open up at. But that's kind of the breakout spot. It doesn't have to open up there. It's just if it gets over 124, 0.5, this thing can really push. I think if it gets over 125, we easily see this breakout here. So that's kind of why I entered that. Obviously, I'm entering this a little bit early, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm not in heavy. This can easily not work. I mean, this can just go completely against what I'm believing in, but I think this is worth a shot. I don't see why I wouldn't have taken it. It's obviously a lighter size trade, so there's no reason I'm not over leveraging this. I'm not oversizing, so I'm risking what I'm willing to lose if this doesn't go my way, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna let this go 100% out of the way, or 100% down. So I'm not even gonna trip about that. So the max I think this thing can lose for me is no more than 20%. So worth a shot. And I also did take some RR commons position here. So it actually is right at the entry here. I'll show you here. So I entered, I hate when it does that. So I entered these RR shares around 394. I mean, my stop loss is 10%. targeting 5.6, 5.56. I mean, 10% to make a potential 90%. Worth a shot here. This is a long-term trade, so I'm not even worrying about it right now, right? This can, I'll put my stop loss around, I think 340. That's the 10% spot here. But dude, this is a huge base, huge wedge or flag, whatever you want to call this. There's just so much, potential upside here, right? You're risking, your stop loss down here at, 13% maybe, or whatever. It should be like 12%, but 12% to make 90%, right? So that's something worth the shot. But yeah, that's quickly the trade that I went into on the shares. Obviously, this is something I'm looking at long term. I'll hold this for a year if I have to, but as long as it doesn't stop me out, I'll stay in that. But that's the quick little recap here. I'll go over the XOM trade the next few days. If it ends up playing out or ends up stopping me out, we'll see. But yeah, y'all enjoy y'all's day. Let's get after it tomorrow.